everybody, welcome back. And if you're new, my name is Chris. Welcome to today's video, which is my most complimented fragrances of the year 2022. I had a few people request this video and I'm more than happy to comply. It has been over a year since I did my last one. I think compliments are highly underrated. Unfortunately, I work in an environment where I know who I'm working with, we're friendly with one another, and we freely exchange compliments on a daily basis. That being said, my coworkers, my work friends are very honest. So if they do tell me something that I'm wearing is pretty or they really like it, it always brings a smile to my face and puts a little pep in my step. I mean, the last thing I want to do is wear a perfume that offends somebody or is very off-putting. So when I've made a good fragrance choice, it's always a good feeling. And I have compiled a list of fragrances which last year were very popular with those around me. And with that, I'm just gonna dive right in. So to start off the list, I grabbed a fragrance that was one of my go-tos in the summer. This is technically a year-round fragrance, but I like to wear it in the spring, summer, and early fall, and it is one of my favorite releases by Parfums de Marly, and it is Meliora. You've heard me speak about this before, and I have done a head-to-head comparison with this fragrance and another fragrance created by the same perfumer, Amethyst, which is a great perfume, and I ended passing it along to a coworker who really enjoyed that scent profile because in the end, Meliora was really my favorite. This scent profile really appeals to me. It is an elevated fruity floral, like a very elevated laundry fresh fruity floral perfume that is not boring in the least. What I get mainly is blackcurrant, I get a red berry, I get raspberry, there's a dewy rose in here. The rose is fresh, it's a little bit dewy, it's watery, but it's not overly floral. And it's definitely a type of rose for those who are afraid of rose fragrances. It's very smooth, and then the cassis note comes in, which gives a little bit of greenness and a little bit of woodiness. There's a beautiful musk in the base, and on me, I can get this to last an entire workday, and without fail, every time I wear this, my friends, my coworkers, oh my gosh, you smell so good. You smell so clean. You smell so fresh. You smell so pretty. And even though it is priced on the high side, I ended up getting mine on a flash sale, which was even better. So my beloved Meliora is gonna start the list. Now we're gonna swing over to a very thick, heavy vanilla fragrance that, oh my gosh, when I wear this, strangers will comment on what I'm wearing. And listen, people are a little bit goofy when it comes to compliments. There were some comments on the video I did last year. People like, there's no way people gave you a comment on that. There's no way somebody said that. We were wearing masks at the time. If I say something got me a comment or a compliment, it's going to be true. That would kind of be silly for me to make something up. But anyways, this one by INITIO Parfums. I wore this to work and then I had a doctor's appointment after work, and I literally had people coming into my room wanting to get a smell of my perfume because the nurse and the assistant who put me in the room were like, oh my gosh, what are you wearing? You smell so good. And so like 2 or 3 other people came in the room and said, knocked on the door and said, do you mind if I come in and smell your perfume? I heard you smell amazing. If you're not a vanilla lover, you're not gonna like this perfume because this is a real heavy gourmand type vanilla to me. This smells like a hot brownie a la mode with emphasis on the a la mode. This is all about the vanilla. It's a slightly animalic vanilla, but it's a musky vanilla. And this thing, oh my gosh, I'm sitting here smelling it and I wanna coat myself in it. Like almost all INITIO Parfums, total powerhouse fragrance. So this one is a consistent compliment getter, and I particularly love to wear it in the cold. I don't really wear it in the warmer months because to me this just reads cold weather. Okay, now I'm gonna swing into a couple florals that you haven't heard me talk about in a long time. One in particular, I don't think I've talked about it in over a year, but they're both beautiful all year round florals that always get me compliments when I wear them. The first one is a fragrance that has gotten a lot of attention on social media. It is 100 Silent Ways. This is a white floral dominant perfume, but the reason I love it so much is because it's sweetened up by some fruitiness, particularly peach. I really need that fruity sweetness to kind of smooth over some of the white florals so that it doesn't scream white floral to me. It's not indolic, but it is a vanillic floral that's not quite gourmand. It's very smooth, it's very creamy. There's a heavy dose of vanilla in the dry down. There's sandalwood in the dry down, just a little bit of musk. This is one of my powerhouse fragrance, and when I wear this every single time, People say, oh my gosh, you smell so good. My daughter had a high school dance about a couple weeks ago. She was wearing this beautiful red dress, and I said, oh honey, please let me pick out your perfume. And the one I decided on was 100 Silent Ways. She absolutely loved it and said that her friends and her little date commented how good she smelled. So a beautiful vanillic floral that I love to wear. Another one I pretty much started my channel with. I haven't talked about it in forever, and it's one that I still to this day never hear people talk about, but it's a very special fragrance. It's very interesting. It's a very unique take on a floral. It's a spicy floral. This is my Black Jade. Now I've put quite a dent into it. With me having so many bottles of perfume, you might not think that this is a dent, but this is quite a dent. Because in addition to all the perfumes I have, I'm an under sprayer. This is a beautiful spicy floral that has a prominent note of cardamom, but is slightly sweet. Oh my gosh, it's very, very pretty. It's citrusy, a little peppery in the opening. I'm pretty sure there's pink pepper. You've got cardamom and pink pepper that definitely give this a spiciness, but this is by far one of the prettiest amber florals that I own. So the spices and the florals, I think the prominent ones are rose and to a lesser degree jasmine, they're swimming in the most beautiful amber. So this is a spicy amber floral perfume. To me, this is just French elegance in a bottle. It is a French brand. And rumor has it that this was actually Marie Antoinette's secret fragrance, or the recipe, the concoction that went into making this was found at Marie Antoinette's residence, and Lubin came up with this creation based on those notes. But anyway, this is not super loud and it's not overly quiet. You have a nice little scent bubble, but when people come into my scent bubble, they say, oh my gosh, you smell really pretty. And I remember a coworker who doesn't work with me anymore, she wasn't a big fan of perfumes, actually came into my office one day and said, okay, I really like what you're wearing, what is it? And it was Black Jade, and I'll never forget that because she never gave me a compliment again regarding what I was wearing, but I do remember her loving Black Jade, and this is just a very likable, pretty perfume when I wear it, and I feel elevated and elegant whether or not I look the part. The next two are oldies but goodies and are staples in my collection. The first one could easily be my signature scent if I had to choose one. It's one of the best everyday scents I own, and it is Gris Dior. I've talked about it a million gajillion times. But let me just tell you how much other people love it when I wear this. It is a chic perfume, which to some may come off as vintagey, but I think this is the perfect rose patchouli chic perfume. It's very modern, it's very fresh, it's very effervescent, it has a nice citrusy opening, but then you get into the rose patchouli oak moss core of the fragrance, which is just so pretty. And I remember, I'll never forget this, I remember one time being at work late at night, it was like 11 p.m. and I do work in a hospital, and I was going to be there by myself, and so I just kind of coated myself just to give me a little pep in my step. I mean, if I smell good and I'm at work, I feel good. Even if it's 11 o'clock on a Sunday night, and I had someone kind of come into my little set of offices and knock on the door and say, excuse me, do you mind if I ask you a question? And I said, well, sure. And she said, can I ask what you're wearing? You smell so good and I can smell you down the hall. And I wanted to come find out what you were wearing. And she was really young, like in her early 20s. So most of the people that I know that I've heard have picked up a bottle of this, absolutely love it. I can just think of one that didn't care for it, but it's just so pretty and likable. And this is my happy perfume. When I wear it, I don't know what it is, it makes me very, very happy. Nothing overly complicated, just a beautifully simple, well-composed fragrance. The next one made my top 10 for life. I remember wearing this to work for the first time and worrying that it wasn't going to be popular because my friends, my coworkers my female coworkers tend to like when I wear like fresh and fruity and floral, with some exceptions. And when I wore this perfume and it was just like people were coming to my office and asking me what I was wearing, I was very surprised, but it's Ivory Route. This one is one of my 10 for life for sure. It's just everything about this perfume speaks to me. It has all the components that I love. I love spices. This is a very spicy perfume. It's peppery. It's got dry spices. XERJOFF doesn't tell you what the notes are. but the dry spices in here reminds me of another one of my all-time favorites, Le du Desert Américain, which is a dry, spicy, ambery perfume. This is a sneaky vanilla. It has vanilla in it. Of course, vanilla is not listed, but there is a subtle vanillic sweetness in here, which you can get as it dries down, which I think makes it so appealing. It's a spicy, subtle vanillic perfume that I absolutely adore, and it is a cold weather staple. I don't wear this a whole lot. In the summer, I could. This is definitely an all year round perfume, but I feel like I enjoy it the most when it is cold outside. And there's just something about the way this is concocted that people really love when I wear. The next three perfumes are all very different fragrances, but they get the same response when I wear them. One is, everybody knows about this perfume. The one I chose is Delina Exclusif. Delina also, when I wear it, gets tons of compliments. And one of my coworkers wears Delina, and every time she wears it, I say, oh, you smell so good. You're wearing Delina, aren't you? But Delina Exclusif is another pretty popular one with my friends, with my coworkers, with those around me. It's Delina minus the bitterness, and it has this big dollop of vanilla ice cream. So a healthy dose of ice cream, still has that rose lychee combination that seems to just be so beautifully appealing without the rhubarb. It does have incense and oud in here, which are definitely, they're not the stars of the show. They are way in the background. I don't get them so much in the air, in the sillage, more when I smell my clothing or where I've sprayed, I can pick them up more. My favorite Delina or Delina flanker to wear in the wintertime. The next one, I feel like a broken record. I have shown this perfume so many times. It made my top 10 for life, and it just made a video. I don't know, whatever video I did last weekend. All the days are running together, but it is one of my favorites from EBK, Alexandrite N Patchouli, the best patchouli that I own. An elevated patchouli. It's fresh, a little bit citrusy. The patchouli is very, very strong, but it's just very luxurious, intoxicating. It's got cotton and linen in here, blended to perfection, very, very strong. This one was a surprise. So my friend that I just told you about who wears Delina, she wears Delina, she wears Chloe, she wears Good Girl Gone Bad, all of those perfumes she bought after smelling on me, she went bananas. Like, I have never gotten the response from people that I got when I wore this. And I felt pretty courageous wearing it to work, but I did. You only need 2 sprays, it'll get you all day. My friend demanded I tell her what it was. I ended up making her a decant. She wore that to a party she went to later that night, and she said she has never got so many compliments, and she wears perfumes that are very, very pretty, in my opinion. And people were just coming up to her left and right, men and women, wanting to know what she was wearing, and it was Alexandrite N Patchouli. I've had people comment in other videos that they hate patchouli. They got their nose on it, they tried this one, and they thought it was a masterpiece. Another one I remember was a shocker. I wore this to work, and I have a very picky friend who doesn't like anything but rose. She likes like tea rose, that's it. Just a very light scent. She doesn't like vanillas. But this day, every single person loved this fragrance, and there's something about Santal Wood by THEODOROS KALOTINIS that is just super appealing. It's definitely a wintertime perfume. So I'm wearing this now. I do not wear this in the summertime, although you could definitely wear this in the summertime. This is a patchouli, sandalwood, rum, and labdanum perfume. Now, labdanum is a note that's used to make an amber accord, and to me, it smells like sweet leather. It's very sweet and leathery. And the sandalwood in here is very, almost like cedar. It's very pencil shavy in a way, but the rum, I think it's the rum that does it. And it does have a noticeable note of patchouli, but there is something about this, or maybe the way I wear it, or how it wears on me, that is so incredibly appealing. And the ones in this line, the THEODOROS KALOTINIS line, I think it's their his gold line, these last forever. So I can get this to get me through an entire work day. A consistent compliment getter, and one that when I wear, of course, I'm always, just like all of the ones I showed, I'm always kind of sneaking to get a sniff where I sprayed it. And I'm going to end the video with 2 perfumes, and it's a layering combo, and it is the layering combo that gets me more compliments out of anything I wear, particularly with layering combos. It is two fragrances that you have all heard of. Many of you may not like them, but when I wear them together, it is utter magic. It is Tom Ford's Lost Cherry and Baccarat 540. When I put these together, oh my goodness gracious, compliments come out of the woodwork. And I did this quick little reel on Instagram. I mean, it didn't take more than 15 seconds, the reel I did, and it got well north of 500,000 views. It was just very popular. And people would comment under my reel and say, I tried that combo. I never thought about trying the combo. I tried the combo and I absolutely loved it. So if you have these two perfumes, do yourself a favor, layer them, put them together, and you will thank me later. I'm telling you, the best layering combo, I think, of all time. So that was it. My 10 most, did I do everything? My 10 most complimented fragrances when I wear them. Now, like I've said before, I don't wear perfumes just to get compliments. I wear perfumes because I want to smell good. And for whatever reason, the mood strikes me and I grab that particular perfume. But every time I wear one of these, it is like clockwork. Somebody's gonna tell me I smell good and want to know what I'm wearing. So this is the first video of 4 I'm planning on doing today. Let's see if I can complete all 4. But anyways, thank you for stopping by. Thank you for watching me, supporting me, giving me a thumbs up, leaving a nice comment, subscribing to me. I really, really appreciate you supporting my channel. And if I didn't mention your most complimented fragrance, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. And with that, I'll see you on the next one.